Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here for a Thursday night video. Right here on the main channel, Killer of Demons 669. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe button down below in my pants, otherwise known as the scritch mark below. Share the video all over the internet. And follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget, if you want, you can leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos from any one of my channels from the past, now, or later in the future, Conan. And don't leave stupid comments. You'll get sent to the Shadow Realm and you'll be beaten severely, and then Ozzy and Satan will come and eat the rest of your soul. So, please don't do that. You want to do it somewhere else, because you ain't gonna do it on my show, and in my videos, and my channels, and all that shit. You know, if you don't like it, too bad. When you get blocked, don't cry. And that's that. And don't forget to tap and slap that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one, because if you miss the next one, you're gonna cry some more, because you're out of luck. You're pretty much SOL, and I think we all know what that means by now. Been too long, so we don't know what it means. Been following my channel for so many years, and if you're just coming to my channel for the first time, you don't know what it means. Oh, you're out of luck too. And that's that. Speaking of newbies, if you're here for the first time and thinking about subscribing, please do. And if not, keep it moving. But when you do subscribe, as we say in the business, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice, tasty, cold one. So we drink soda here. We don't drink mixed drinks or anything like that. But sit back, relax, you grab yourself a nice, tasty, cold one, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You know, too bad. That's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on this pretty, not too cold, Thursday night, January the 22nd, 2026. A couple days away from the blizzard of 2026 here in the Northeast. Gonna be insane. Sunday morning into all day Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. Actually, it tapers off Sunday evening, Sunday night, but a little bit of mixing, not too much, but kind of ramps up by Monday afternoon-ish. So, Sunday, stay home. Monday, pretty much stay home, unless you have to go out in the Northeast. But be safe, be well, if you have to go out. But yeah, hope you have a lot of snow melt. Because that shit ain't gonna be melting for at least a month. And hopefully we won't get any more like that as we hit February. We do get a little bit at the end of this month, but that's to be determined. So end of January, and then February comes, and then March, hopefully will come in with some rain and warmer temperatures as we begin spring at the end of March. So about 2 months away from hopefully warmer weather here in the Northeast and springtime, so we can get this horrible season of winter out of here, and we can get to better seasons like spring, summer, and fall, and then we do it all over again by the time we hit December. So just gotta get through it. We'll get through it. And, somehow we'll all get through it, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be insane, pretty much from the Midwest, around Texas, all the way down to certain parts of Florida. Might get some, maybe some wintry weather, but cold temperatures too. But, who knows? But be safe and be well, this weekend, if you're here in the Northeast and down south. That's that. Out west, you don't really have to worry about that. But we move on with that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on this Thursday night, we got TNA Impact Wrestling on AMC, episode number 2. Electric Boogaloo, hopefully it's way better than last week's debacle. 173,000 views. They did fix some, not all of them, but some of the visa problems, but still, the X-Division champion Leon Slater will not be at on tonight. He will not even be at the tapings because they're taping as well this weekend in, where were they? I think they're in Albuquerque. Yeah, they're in Albuquerque, so don't have to worry about the weather and all that shit. But Collision will not be from the Eastwood Stadium in Arlington because of the weather. So they taped Collision last night. We'll see that on Saturday. And SmackDown might be in a little bit of that's from what AJ Styles said on Twitter today. Because he will be on the show to talk to Nicholas Aldis. I wonder what that's about. And there's a rumor going around that AJ Styles might be facing a certain guy named Carmelo Hayes. I'm interested. Sign me the fuck up. I want to see that match before he retires next Saturday. Because, Walter's going to annihilate him again, cheat to win, because he's the career killer. So AJ pretty much will be bye-bye, so long, farewell, sing at home in Gainesville, Georgia, with his wife and kids, his wife, Wendy! And, that's it. His career go bye-bye. Done. And then probably see him at WrestleMania if he goes in the Hall of Fame. Cena might be there too, because he might be going to the Hall of Fame, because there's rumors that Cena and maybe AJ Styles will be, in the class of 2026 along with Stephanie McMahon. But, rumored. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, so some travel problems for the WWE and AEW this weekend, but should be okay. Because next week they're in Austin, Texas, depending on the weather down there, because they're getting ice again. Remember what happened last time when Texas got a big ice storm? They had no power for weeks. So, get ready, Texas. You might lose power, and hopefully not for longer than what happened last time. But especially here in the Northeast, hopefully we won't lose power either. But we shall see what happens with that. Alright, enough about that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So like I said, we got TNA Impact Wrestling tonight at 9 p.m. on that great station of AMC. And we'll see what happens with that. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back a couple days. And as the title below says, I did this video on Monday night, but stupid me put it up on the wrong channel. I put it up on my Peter Joseph channel, didn't realize it until the next day, so then I pretty much deleted the video. And now, it is time for your redone Monday afternoon Raw, or Raw, review from this past Monday, Martin Luther King Day, January 19th, 2026. And we are emanating from the SSE Arena in the great city and country of Belfast, Northern Ireland, which is not a United States territory. United Kingdom territory. But, imagine it was a United States territory, that'd be funny. Hey, Greenland could be, acquired by the U.S., I don't know, but is Trump playing, Risk? I think Trump's playing Risk, if you ever play that boy game. Then again, he could be playing thermonuclear thermal war, like War Games! All we need is Matthew Broderick and Professor Falcon to stop, tell Joshua to stop playing, video games and stuff like that. Stop the war, stop the missiles from going crazy, Like, we're playing Missile Command. So, 40 years later, we could be getting thermonuclear, global nuclear thermal war. I've been saying it since 2015, really. Because it's been 30 years since that I said that. Now it's 40 years later since War Games came out. So you never know. With this wacky world we live in. But that's that. Alright, so Belfast, Northern Ireland, Monday afternoon Raw. the next to last show that you guys get to watch on a VPN. Well, I get to watch on a VPN next Friday, being Saudi Arabia for SmackDown. So that's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern on Netflix. But you have to have if you can't watch it on Netflix, you have to have a VPN to watch it. If not, you get to watch it at normal time at 8 o'clock on the USA Network. So, sucks for some of you, but not for me. And that's that. Alright, our commentary team, a little bit different from this week. Actually, not totally different, but we have the legendary Maggle, Cole, and Cody Slave, as always, on a Monday night, or Monday afternoon, whatever time we see it. That's that. Alright, so Raw was actually pretty decent. And I'm not gonna go too much into it because we're about an hour and change away from TNA, and I got some other stuff to do, like eat dinner, like my normal dinner, you know what I mean? My sensible dinner is being made by the missus, so I gotta, get this done so I can have dinner, and then me and the missus can watch Impact, and then maybe, close out the night with some Netflix and chill, or something. Or just go to bed, What it is, what it is. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Alright, so we start off the show with the man who's not really liked in WWE and by the fans and by the superstars. And that's Walter. He comes out, the fans are pissed because he supposedly tapped out last week to AJ Styles, but then the referee didn't see it, and AJ turned around, and then Walter basically put him to sleep. So Walter says, AJ, you made a mistake last week because you forgot who you're dealing with. And then Walter, lists off his accomplishments. Then he declares for the Royal Rumble match. But then the phenomenal man with great hair, AJ Bad Hair Styles, he comes out, gets right to the point. He wants Walter in a rematch at the Royal Rumble. Walter's like, I really don't want to wrestle twice in one night, so that's a big fat no. So he goes to leave. AJ's like, you pussy, stop being a little bitch. Damn. So Walter's like, oh, you want to call me a pussy? You want to call me a bitch? All right. Since you wanted to call me that, you're on. So that match is official for the Royal Rumble, but, and there's a but, and it really stinks. Walter goes to leave, and he says, wait a minute, AJ, wait a minute. You really want this match? If you want to fight me so bad in round 2 Electric Boogaloo, you, sir, have to put your career on the line. And AJ's like, whoop. That made AJ kind of like, wait a minute, did I really want to fight him again? So Walter's like, you don't have to tell me right now. I'll give you to the end of the night to decide. So will AJ pussy out, or will he actually put his career on the line and see what happens at the Royal Rumble? But good segment there, 3 out of 5 stars. Alright, we're in the back, Maxine Dupri. She runs into Natty, the new Natalia, basically now is Natty, who unexpectedly showed up, and she's here to support her against the man, Becky Lynch, for the Women's Intercontinental title, and I think their 5th match. And remember, Maxine is 3-1 against Becky. And one of those 3 wins was for the Intercontinental title. Alright, so I get a 2.25 out of 5 stars. And then we get to the women's title match. Maxine Dupri defending against the former champion, the man, Becky Lynch. Pretty good match for 11.5 minutes. Natalia at ringside. They go back and forth. Nice little move by Maxine, hitting a step-up leg drop to the back of the head for a near fall. Ow. Goes for a kick, gets caught in the disarmer. That gets reversed into the ankle lock, which also gets broken up. And then Maxine goes to the top, I guess looking for that cross body. And Becky crotched her on the top. Whoop! and then hits a superplex on the way down. Becky rolls into a DDT for a near fall, so not like her husband Seth Rollins would do with the Paradox move. He hit the superplex right into the Falcon Arrow. So Becky kind of emulated it, but did differently. So got that. Then Becky's like, all right, that's it. I'm going to cheat a little bit. She pulls the turnbuckle pad off, but almost got set into the exposed turnbuckle, which allows Maxine to hit a high cross body, gets rolled through by Becky for a near fall. Maxine gets the ankle lock on again. Becky gets out of it, right near the ropes. Maxine with a kick to the head, and goes for the cover right near the ropes. And 1, 2, Natalya somehow put Becky's foot on the rope. Uh-oh. She's about to do the heinous act. Turn heel. Maxine's like, What are you doing? You trained me for a month. What are you doing? So, he's all stunned, yelling at Natalya. Natalya's like, no, no, no. And then Maxine turns around and walks right into the manhandle slam. 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch retains the title. I thought Maxine did not have the title at the time. So, my bad. So, the man, Becky Lynch retains the women's Intercontinental title in a smidge over 11.5 minutes. Good match, 3 out of 5 stars. That's that. And then afterwards, Natty gets in the ring and basically does the heinous act, turns on her student, Maxine Dupree, lays her out, locks in a sharpshooter, gets broken up, when Natalya puts it back on, and then referees and agents have to come out and, try to stop this madness, but they can only do what they can. So that's that. Alright, moving on. Alright, they're going to recap of what happened last week with that epic segment between Adam Pearce and Braun Breaker, where Braun basically put his hands on the GM, and then Adam Pearce screaming, he almost lost his voice, suspended Braun indefinitely for putting his hands on him, and then Paul Heyman's like, well, sir, from my vantage point, you put your hands on him first. So we're going to see what happens with that. That leads to Adam Pearce asking AJ Styles what he's going to do about Walter's challenge. AJ says, well, I'm going to call my hot wife, Wendy. Talk about it, and I'll let you know. So AJ leaves, and then Paul Heyman comes out of the GM's office. I wonder what he was doing there. Don't ask. He says, hey, Pierce, how's your week been? Pierce like, it was pretty good. Heyman's like, oh, really? Right. So Pierce says, well, we're in Belfast, Northern Ireland, cheap pop. And then Heyman's like, well, you couldn't find an arena in London? Ooh. Ooh. Anyway, so Pierce's like, what do you want, Paul? Heyman's like, a lot. So they go into the office to talk about something. But we got a 6-man tag team match with the Vision, Big Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, and that schmuck Logan Small taking on Pentagon, Zero, Miedo, Rey Mysterio, Booyaka Booyaka, and that guy named Dragon Lee. But both of them will be at ringside, so Braun Breaker doesn't, spontaneously show up and no shenanigans. So we get that. Alright, so 2.5 out of 5 stars for that. Then we get a video for the big main event, CM Punk defending the world title against the hometown boy, Fiend Balor. We got that. Alright, then we go, I think we went to the back. Raquel Rodriguez says the Raw Women's Champion La Primera, Stephanie Verker, is still out of action, but she's ready to win the women's title when she gets the chance. And then Liv Morgan, she comes in with Roxanne Perez, and Liv says this is going to be the Judgment Day's year because they're going to win every title. Well, we're going to wait for JD McDumpfuck to come back, and maybe him and Finn can win the Raw Tag Team titles again. And then Finn can possibly be a double champion, win the Raw World title. We already have Dom as a double champion again with the Intercontinental title and the Triple A Mega Championship. So we'll see what happens with the ladies. And that's pretty much it. And Liv and Roxanne already have a tag team title match coming up on Saturday's main event against Rhea Ripley and my girl Io. And that's pretty much it. So we'll see what happens with that this weekend. And we move on. Alright, then we go into the concourse area. We got the Yeet Man, one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, Jey Uso. Jimmy's still at home with Naomi, who's, I don't know if she's about to pop yet, but he's pretty much home in the States, caring for his woman and his soon-to-be son, or I think they're having a son, but whatever. Anyway, so he comes out and declares himself he's going to be in the Royal Rumble, so maybe we'll see him run it back and win back-to-back Royal Rumbles like Cody did from 23 and 24. So we'll see what happens with that. But as it stands, Jay, you're not winning because Roman or Braun Breaker are the favorites to win that with an outside shot of Sami Zayn. I'd rather have Roman go on, and I would love for Roman to go to Mania and beat the shit out of CM Punk. Not Cody, because that's not going to happen. They're saying it's not happening with Cody and Roman at Mania, which sucks. So the next logical choice is, hey, how about Roman and Punk? They haven't gone one-on-one in a while. Last time they fought was before Punk went bye-bye, and Punk beat Roman, which sucks. So let's do that. Let's run that back from like 2014 or something like that. I think it was 13 or 14. So we'll see. But I think the main storyline is Braun Breaker getting another title shot at Punk. So Roman may win the Elimination Chamber, but somebody's got to face Drew McIntyre. So if Roman's on SmackDown, so maybe he wins the Elimination Chamber. Then again, it might be Jacob. So then Roman's, going to chase for the title, but not the way we think he's going to chase it. But I feel Roman's going to get that title back maybe by the summertime. Who knows? Maybe not at all by this year, which will suck. But Roman doesn't need the title. We already went 4+ years with Roman as our champ. I wouldn't be mad if we don't see Roman as champ for this year and maybe next year, because he's gonna transition to movies pretty soon, so I may not see Roman that much. He's gonna turn into Cena pretty much, be part-time. Well, he kind of is part-time, but then he'll turn into Dwayne. We'll never see him. But that's that. Alright, so I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars for Raquel's segment, and 2.5 for Jey Uso declaring himself in the Royal Rumble match, and that's it. Alright, after that, go to the back, we have the New Day of Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston! And, he did it, Grayson Waller. They're in the back with Adam Pearce, who's going towards the ring for the 6-man tag team match. So the New Day want their tag team title shot, and Pierce is like, yeah, I agree, you should have get a title shot if you win next week's Fatal 4-Way match. So like, what do you mean we gotta qualify, we gotta do this, we gotta run through hoops, come on now. So we move on with that. And, that's that. Anyway. So, hopefully, can I do this without... Let me see if I can do this. 1 second. Well, the missus is texting me at the same time I'm taping, so. Hold on, guys. Sorry. I'm doing this live as I'm doing it. So, sorry about that. So, we will move on with that. Business was like, what do you want to eat? We move on. Anyway. So, we have that. Alright, so then they rant, and that's it. Alright, then we get to the 6-man tag team match. The Vision taking on Rey Mysterio, Pentagon, and Dragon Lee. Pretty decent match. Getting to the end, and Paul Heyman gets on the apron, slides Theory the brass knucks, but Adam Pearce saw it, went all the way around the ring, took the brass knucks from Theory, and then Heyman comes around, and is like, hey, what are you doing? And they start yelling at each other, and kind of start going to the back, and then that allowed Rey Mysterio to pick up the brass knucks, knock Austin Theory the fuck out, and then Pentagon hits the Mexican Destroyer. 1, 2, 3, the Luchadors get the win in 15 minutes. Pretty decent match, 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, the Luchadors celebrate in the ring, and Paul Heyman pulls out his phone. I wonder who he's calling. Was it Braun Breaker? Could it be Dwayne? He does have his number. We'll get to that in a second. Alright, move on. Alright, then we get CM Punk's plan to beat Finn Balor later on. Be the best in the world. Obviously. Alright, so I get a 2.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we go to the back. Paul Heyman still yelling at Adam Pearce for what happened just a few minutes ago. And suggests that Adam Pearce is going to get fired. And then we see Adam Pearce getting a phone call from somebody. Maybe one of the higher ups in WWE. Pearce answers the phone. Actually, Heyman's like, I think you should pick that up. And Pearce like, yeah. And then you saw his face like, oh shit. Dwayne was on the phone. And you don't want to piss off Dwayne. Because he pretty much owns the company now. You would think it's Vince, right? Vince, yo, Pearce, stop being an asshole, or you're fired. It's not Vince. Vince has nothing to do with WWE anymore, so it's Dwayne. Or it could be Nick Khan. Who knows? So, Pearce, you got some explaining to do. We move on. Alright, then we get, their name is Rio, and they dance upon my lap. And when they're done, they go and take a nap. Alright, the Women's Tag Team Champions, Mommy Rhea Ripley and Io. They come out. They're ready for their title defense at Saturday Night's main event against Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. But they declare themselves in the Women's Royal Rumble. And then Liv Morgan and Roxanne come out. Liv Morgan says, Rhea is going to turn on you, Io, like she did with me, like she always does. And then Io's like, no! Oh, Io, you need to hug somebody. Hug me. But I digress. Roxanne says that the two of them and Raquel are also in the Royal Rumble match. And then Rhea's like, ooh, you. So, Raquel Rodriguez comes out of nowhere. We have a 3-on-2 cat fight! And Roxanne chops Io's leg. Damn it! And then they just take them all out. And that's it. And then Liv hits Oblivion on Rhea Ripley and then leave both the champs down in a heap. Damn. And that's pretty much it. So I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars, and that's it. Heyman's thing I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars as well. Alright, here we go. To the back, once again, we got the bird lady from Ireland, Light Up That Kitty-ya! Talking to Bayley! Give me a hug. Well, she wasn't too happy because the Niners lost that before that, the weekend before Raw. Saying it's hard to be positive when she has let her best friend down. Peter's like, what are you talking about? You can't let me down. And he says, one of us is gonna win the Royal Rumble, and then they have a big old hug. Yeah! Alright, so we have that. So 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. We move on. Alright. After that, we get to your boy is Patsy! Javon Evans taking on El Grande Americano. That's Ludwig Spears, along with Rayon Bravo, Tyler Bate, and Pete fucking Dunne. Man from Ireland, by the way. Actually, no, I think he's from... Not from Ireland, he's from the UK. Anyway. This match lasted under 6.5 minutes. Javon hurt his shoulder or his pec. During the commercial, we didn't see most of it. We come back and he's like, we see the referees and agents kind of like the doctor or the medics like tending to Javon. Like, what the fuck had happened? And we had to see replay. So Javon is out, hopefully not too long. And I hope it's not a serious injury. I haven't heard any news about that. But, yeah, the way he looked, it didn't look good. So, Javon may be out for the Royal Rumble, which kind of sucks for him. And he might be out of Mania, which will even suck worse for him. Speaking of not being at Mania, Seth freaking Rollins might not be at Mania because his rehab from his shoulder injury not going so well. Is worse than his knee injury, which kept him out of Mania at one point, I think. Well, you know what I mean. He had a knee injury going into Mania, and he somehow got cleared, and he beat Beastie, I think, that year, when he had that leg injury. WrestleMania 35, I believe. I could be wrong. Maybe I think it was 35. I forget. Anyway, moving on. Alright, so I gave that match. I had to give it 2.25 out of 5 stars because there was not much action in there. So, we get that. Alright, we hear from Fiend Balor. He's all ready to win the world title from CM Punk. Then we get a preview of Unreal Season 2, which has been great. Don't know if I'm going to have enough time to do the video. I might do it after Impact, or maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow night, because I do have errands to run, and I got things to do, a lot of things to do this weekend, so some of the videos might come really late, because I have plans tomorrow and Saturday, and Sunday and Monday I may not be around, because it depends on the weather and the weather, and 2, power. But I'll try my best to get something out tomorrow and Saturday. Sunday, probably not anything. Monday, definitely be something, maybe late afternoon Monday. And then we'll get to Raw on Monday. So kind of get back to normal, hopefully, by Monday. But like I said, we're getting a blizzard here, so I might not have power on Sunday, maybe into Monday, maybe Tuesday. Some of you will like that, but I don't care. But we got that. And we move on with that. I just want to check something real quick. I know the missus was doing something, so, I know I'm doing this live, but, yeah, just give me 1 second. I'm just looking up something for 1 second. That's not what I wanted. I'm looking up something on my phone. I'm just looking at something. Something that I hopefully didn't happen. Okay, I thought I saw something on my phone that a different thing from, not from Rosa, but something else. But seems like everything's okay. So I got a weird notification, and I have to check sometimes, because get weird stuff. But it seems like everything should be alright. I hope. But you never know what happens, with weird stuff on your phone. And then your email gets like all messed up. But seems like everything should be okay. Just gotta do a double check. Yeah, it seems like everything was okay. Anyway. But always gotta check. Anyway, moving on. Sorry about that. Alright, we're back to normal. Alright, after the Unreal Season 2 preview, if you haven't watched it yet, please do. It's amazing. From the start to the finish. And I'm just about to finish it. I'm on episode 5 of Season 2. And, the EO episode, really good. I mean, the whole thing was good. Seth Rollins' story, the whole thing with his fake injury, which led to SummerSlam, and coming back at SummerSlam, and beating Punk, cashing in, and everything. Nobody knew, not even the referee knew. I was like, wow. Nobody knew, except for select people. And the only problem I had with Season 2 is, they showed the whiteboard, how they come up with all the matches and all the storylines, and the writers are in there. It was good because you don't see that, but then I'm like, you have these so-called writers like the Road Dogg Road Dogg Brian James and everything. He can't write for shit. He is probably the worst booker of all time. He sucks so bad. And then you got Hunter in there. I don't know. I don't know this works. How do we get there? And then you got Ed Koski, who can't do shit either. And then you got all these other writers like, you can't write a fucking match or a fucking pay-per-view. But somehow Hunter makes it work somehow. And then you had all the producers like Abyss. Man, Abyss lost mad weight. Have you noticed that? I saw like, that's Chris Parks? What? That didn't even look like Abyss. I'm like, I had to do a double take. Was that Nick Khan? And now we saw Nick Khan talking to Triple H at one point in one of the episodes. I'm like, then I looked, and then we see Abyss. He looks mad freaking skinny. Not skinny, you know what I mean? But he lost a lot of weight. He looks like we can't recognize him. Because he doesn't have his beard or anything like that. Interesting. We saw Bobby Roode. He was there. Rosa loved that episode. Because she likes Bobby Roode. Paul Heyman was in some of the meetings and stuff like that. But overall, I thought Season 2 was pretty damn good. I did watch Season 1. I only saw the first episode of Season 1. So then when Season 2 came out, I just watched Season 2. So I'm going to go back to watch the rest of Season 1. Maybe this weekend or maybe next week. But I am very much invested in watching what happens next for Season 3, which got picked up. I don't know when it's coming out. We don't know yet. Probably be after Mania or maybe by SummerSlam. So that's going to be very interesting to see what they pick up from. Maybe we get what the AJ Lee thing return. How that came about. And then maybe go from what Seth Rollins is going through. I don't know what they're going to do. But we'll see what happens with that. I think they're going to go from what happened after SummerSlam up to WrestleMania. So that's probably going to be Season 3, I would assume. And then maybe Season 4. Holy shit, I got a big old... I didn't even know that. So I had this... You can't see it now. I have a big hole in my shirt. I didn't know that. I don't know how that happens. I'm getting fat, maybe. Maybe it was just ripped when I was putting it on the shirt today. It was already there. I don't wear this shirt that often anyway. I only wear sweatshirts when I go out. So when it's cold, I wear the sweatshirts most often. Or I wear a hoodie. So that's that. I just noticed that. Anyway. Alright, so then we get a video for the big man from Wakanda. He's the Buddha. Who? The Destroyer. Who? The Bringer of War. Who? Yeah, hoot you too. Rose is hooting now. Oba! Who? Femi. Rosa likes Oba. Not like that. I know he's a Nigerian, not a prince, but, weirdness. Anyway. And that's that. So we get that. So Oba would be at the Royal Rumble, and probably see him on Raw. Maybe after that. Move on. Alright, Adam Pearce talks to the Vision, along with Paul Heyman, saying that he will not be lifting Braun Breaker's suspension, but he wants Braun Breaker on Raw next week so they can smooth things over. And then Paul Heyman says, well, you better be on your best behavior. So, I wonder who made that call and who was on the phone. Had to be Dwayne. It had to be The Rock. Who else could it be? Nick Khan? Maybe. But I don't think they're going to put Nick Khan in the storyline. I don't know. So it had to be Dwayne. So, we'll see. It's one of those things like, who made the call? Who threw the pie in Kevin Owens' face? Who was Tiffany Stratton's daddy? Things we'll never know. We can't even ask we'll never ask Adam Pearce who's on the phone. We'll never know. I mean, Tiffany Stratton answered our question, who was the daddy? He's like, oh, we had it all written up, or they scrapped it. And she didn't even know who it was. And Kevin Steen, every time you ask him about the pie in the face thing on Raw, I think it was on Raw, he don't even know. Because they scrapped that idea of who threw the pie in his face. I still think it's Sami Zayn. And then people saying it's Vince. I doubt it was Vince. I doubt it. But you never know, with Vince around that time. He was off screen. Who knows? Alright, so anyway, with them gone, AJ Styles comes in and says, make the match for the Royal Rumble against Walter. So it is official. AJ will put his career on the line against Walter at the Royal Rumble. And his contract ends February the 1st. So, nice knowing you, AJ. Sorry, I mean, you're the best, man, but, you had a great career. Sucks that you're not going to be a Mania to be in one final match in TNA, or even what I want, going to AEW, maybe for just a one-time thing, and getting with the Bucks and Kenny again, a little Bullet Club Elite reunion. Maybe get Adam Cole just for one night, baby! Too bad Cody won't be there because, Who kicked AJ out of the group? Oh, that was right, Kenny. He was like, fuck you guys. I think it was Kenny or... No, AJ, I think, took over from Kenny, and then Cody took over from AJ, I think. One of those things. But, whatever. Moving on. Alright, so I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Then we get to the Saturday night's main event rundown. Should be a good show tomorrow night on Peacock. Wish it was on Channel 4, but it's on Peacock. So we get that. Alright, before the main event, we get my first and second amazingly hot Asian-wise. We have Asuka. Nobody is ready for Asuka. But you know what it is. My dick is ready, as always. And Kairi Sane. Kairi's in the back. Asuka comes in. Kairi's like, she's like all really, nervous. Asuka comes in. Kairi! And starts blaming Kairi for losing the tag titles to Liv and Roxanne. And then last week's loss for them not getting that title shot against Mommy Rhea Ripley. They lost the belts to Mommy Rhea Ripley and Io. And then last week, Kairi took the loss in that I think it was a triple threat match for the number one contenders spot. So Asuka's mad. Kairi's like, I'm sorry, Asuka-chan, sorry, Ogana-chan-san, I'm sorry, but I'll make it up to you, I'll make sure you win the Royal Rumble, and I'll do anything to help make you win the Royal Rumble. Asuka's like, don't make me yell at you ever again. And you see Kairi like, her fist is like, I can't control my fist. Oh, that Kairi turn is going to be epic when she finally has had enough of Asuka's bullshit. Oh, that match at Mania will slap. You feel like going back to Japan all over again. Because they have fought in Japan. Many times. But I would love to have it with Io in it, make it a triple threat Japanese death match or some shit. We'll just have all three of them in there, because they're doing something with... AJ's got a big program coming up at Mania. Most likely with Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental title, and she will win that. And I heard Mommy Rhea Ripley has a big, something big coming up at Mania as well. What that is, I don't know. Could we get Mommy Rhea Ripley Io again? I don't know what number they'd be up to, what match, but... How they... The only thing I can see them is them losing the titles to Liv and Roxanne, and then blaming each other. Like, maybe not at Saturday's main event, maybe as we get to Elimination Chamber, and after that, you know, they lose the titles, and then Io... Maybe Io turns on Mommy, and Io's like, I never needed you! You baka! You know, stuff like that. And then Mommy just starts going berserk. And says, alright, this is it! And Io's like, you never beat me, you never will! And Mommy's like, alright, I'm gonna, one more time at Mania, and Mommy Rhea Ripley finally beats Io at Mania. It sucks, but... Considering what Liv said earlier in the night, where Mommy would turn on you, could get something like that, where Mommy turns back to being a heel, and, poor Io is stuck in the middle, and has to fight for her life, and Io's like, well, you never beat me, and Mommy's like, I'm gonna finally beat you, and maybe Mommy uses some chicanery to beat Io at Mania. Fans won't like it, I won't like it, but it fits the storyline. I got ideas, Hunter! I'm just saying. See, if you ever need a guy, I don't need to write the show. I'm not Finn Balor telling Issa, you could write the show. Oh, I'm gonna clip that, Issa could write the show by herself. I just have ideas, We both have ideas. We could be on the writing team if we wanted to, or the creative team. We're not gonna go into your writing room like, I got notes. We're not gonna just throw it at the fucking whiteboard. Here, Hunter, I got something for you here. I'm gonna write it down. I'm leaving. Get out of here. I'm not gonna even... I'm gonna pitch it up the wazoo, and then I'm done. If you don't like it, alright, go with your bullshit. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go back home to Brooklyn, New York, and sit on my ass and do great videos until you finally get it through your head. I got ideas. Oh, he's got ideas, I'm saying, Hunter, listen to your fans once in a while. I know you watch my show, you lying bastard. Wrestlers watch YouTube sometimes, and they, I'm just saying. When you meet them, they're like, hey, you that dude from YouTube who said some lot of shit? Well, you have those ideas? I think I like your idea. Issa would tell you about that when she does her meet and greets. When she goes to talk to some of the wrestlers, and they're like, I remember you. So sometimes it pays to, not be a schmuck like JD, but, watch what you say, but, they'll yell at you, but then you gotta be like, hey, take it easy, it's just an opinion, I'm not, I don't hate you. Like, if I ever met Cena, and how much that Cena hate I had for him, until his run last year. I ever meet him, he's like, oh, you that dude that laughed when I got injured before Mania, it was gonna be out 6 months, you laughed, you made a little video. Yeah, I got a lot of hits for it, though, but, I was like, I didn't mean it, because I was just sick and tired of your character getting shoved down my throat every week, It's like, I don't hate you. I respect you for what you've done for the business and everything. Congrats on, number 17 and the great, semi-great retirement run. I don't hate you. I just, it was back then. It was like 2016. I'm like, why you were talking about this 10 years ago? This is 10 years ago. Why were you even talking? And plus, I did a video when you turned heel. Right after you turned heel, I did a short saying, you know what, John? I take every fucking thing back I ever said about you. I would have done the same thing with Roman. If I didn't make that video, if I met Roman, on the street or something, and Roman was like, did you say something about me, sir? Did you wish death on me? That wasn't nice. I'm like, Roman, it's just your character. But I respect you, my tribal chief. Maybe you would have bought it, maybe not, but, But yeah, I made my apology to Roman after the whole thing. We had leukemia, then it went in remission, y'all. Now I love Roman. Roman's the best, man. Roman will always be my tribal chief. Even though I liked him in 2019, way before I met Issa. So you people think I like Cena because of Issa. Wrong. I like Roman because of Issa. Wrong. I like Bad Bunny because of Issa. Wrong. It's called giving people a second chance. Learn it, remember it. If not, shut the fuck up. And that's that. Alright, so we'll see what happens with Kyrie and Asuka. And, Kyrie's like, why you little? We'll see what happens with that. Alright, then we get to the main event for the Raw World title. CM Punk taking on the hometown boy, Finn Balor. And, the lights go out. They go, ole, 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 Frito-Lay, Frito-Lay. I'm like, wait a minute, Generico coming out? They let him out of the orphanage in Mexico? That bastard, Kevin Steen wouldn't have been happy about that. But anyway, they're cheering for Finn Balor, who comes out to his OG theme song. Mark Out City, baby. I do like the remix they do, but you gotta go with the OG Def Rebel theme. But the pop he got was amazing. That's a hometown pop if I ever seen one before. But in any case, they had a great match to end the show. Back and forth they went. Finn was favoring his leg most of the match. Goes to the coup de grace. Took too long. Punk catches him up top for a superplex. But their legs lock, and for a near fall, so Finn almost won the belt. Punk drops him with a running clothesline to get back up. Balor hits a sling blade, followed by a running clothesline to the floor. Big running flippy connects, and then he sends Punk back in. Goes to the coup de grace, missed, kind of landed on that bad leg. Punk hits a quick GTS. I don't know how Finn got out of that and kicked out at all. Finn's like, yeah, Finn, come on! And I was like, yes, come on, beat him, please! So Finn, starts hulking up, brother, and shotgun dropkick in one corner, does it in another corner, and then CM Punk, he rolled to the other corner, and Finn is feeling it, he goes up top, hits the coup de grace for a very close 2.9999999 Batman 5. Oh! And then Punk gets right back up like he no-sold it. Hits the GTS. 1, 2, 3. Fuck! So, CM Punk retains the belt in 16 minutes and change. Great match. 4 out of 5 stars. And then afterwards, sportsmanship! Yay! Code of honor. You love to see it. And it seems like they're cool with each other. But I don't know how Finn's gonna take that this Monday night with the Judgment Day, Liv company. It's like, oh, you didn't win the belt. They're gonna kick him out eventually. And then Liv's gonna have her own Judgment Day with Dom and maybe Raquel, and they're gonna kick Roxanne Perez maybe be out. So it'll be Finn and JD McDumpfuck and Raquel, maybe their own little group. I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see. So, I think Dom's just like, oh, get out, thank God, you know? Because you know how Dom and Finn weren't seeing eye to eye. They're like, oh, we're friends. No, I fucking hate you. And now we're friends again. That's how families are, you know. We love and we hate each other. But strangle each other's necks and all that shit. But it is what it is, and that's that. Alright, so that ends Monday Night Raw on a pretty damn good note. And I gave Raw 7.5 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you guys thought of the show down below in the comment section. And like Trick Willie would say, let's talk about it. And that's that. Alright guys, we got Impact coming up in about a half hour from now on AMC. So I'm going to get ready for that. Have my sensible dinner. But I'll be back maybe later tonight. Right here on the Kill Demons channel once again. With your official TNA on AMC review for episode number 2 of the AMC era. And hopefully tonight will be way better than last week. But like I said, Danny Luna and Leon Slater will not be there because of ongoing visa problems. But everybody else that had a visa, pretty much, it got done yesterday evening. Lance Storm even was one of them as well. So I think he's working with the ladies and knockouts. So he's not going to be at the tapings tonight, and then at the tapings this weekend. But everything else is fine. Then the next live event, I thought it was Sacrifice, but it's No Surrender. February the 13th. That's Friday the 13th. Coming up in a couple weeks. So I think Lance Storm will be back. Leon Slater will be defending the X Division title against Cedric Alexander, most likely. Danny Luna will get her Knockouts title match that she was supposed to get, but they gave it to Delta. So I think the storylines that were going into Genesis are going to be backed up a little bit with those two people, and then everything else just gets rewritten and everything. It's not, TNA's problem. It's, how the visas work, stupidity with that shit. You're coming from a different country, you gotta get a work visa, or you gotta renew your visa, and sometimes it gets lost in transit and shit. Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. We should not have visas at all. I'm not talking about credit cards, but work visas or whatever, stupid. But it is what it is. That's that. Alright guys, I'm out here. 7.5 out of 10 stars for Raw. Let me know what you guys think down below, and that's pretty much it. Alright, thanks for watching everybody. Until next time, peace.